finish them off. But you know, we won a football game, and had a lot of guys playing for the first time. We got a lot of improvement to make, but it was a satisfactory performance. But we need to play better. We know that.
I think this week you're playing more of a straight-up team, I believe, right? In terms of offensive team and a little more sort of the game plan sort of reflect that.
It's a team that's not going to throw the ball every snap.
Right.
You know, that's what was so different last week was their whole thing they do on offense is pass, and so we constructed the defense up front to help us with that.
Talk about Clowney's debut. How did he do?
He played well. I mean, he made some mistakes and learned from the mistakes. He knew what he'd done wrong, which is, you know, very coachable. And he played well, made plays. There was one play in particular. He's got outside leverage on a run play, ducks up inside, ball bounces outside of him. He's wrong, and he runs the ball carrier down the sideline about 15 yards away. You know, a lot of guys couldn't recover from that mistake. And so he's going to be a good football player. He's going to learn every game. He's get better and better. And so, but again, he's so coachable. That's why he's going to be really good.
Was it important for him to play a game before he plays the conference game?
They're all important. I mean, they're all important. I mean, and that was his first game, college football, and he played a lot of snaps. I left him out there a little bit at the end because I wanted to see his toughness. He could push through some things, and he needs the reps. And every rep he gets is like gold. So every one of those reps in that game are very important.
But does he need to step up this week, also playing an SEC offensive line? The challenge is going to be a little bit different this week?
I mean, yeah, it is. I mean, Georgia's a fine football team. They've always, their bread and butter is they don't, you know, run football, play action pass. So we've got to do a good job in the whole unit. We've got to step up and play better. And the mark of a good football team is if you make improvement from week to week. And so that's what we stress to our players individually and collectively.
Brad, I'm sorry if I'm asking you to repeat yourself, but that first four you went out there with, is that now your starting four, or will you still juggle it?
That was the starting four for East Carolina.
Right.
I mean, that was one of those offenses, and that was different.
Right.
You know, I mean, I called it our rabbit scoop. That was our rabbit scoop. Because, I mean, we had to be able to rush the quarterback and chase our quarterbacks around.
Talk about that, how it's different facing an offense like East Carolina. Now you got to prepare for a different scheme in Georgia.
I mean, they're more traditional in what they do. I mean, our schedule, if you look at our schedule, it's every week. It's something different.
You have Navy next week, right?
Yeah, that's the following week. But right now, I mean, Georgia is a very traditional offensive line. They do a great job of trying to be physical, pound the football at you, as well as, you know, a good job of pass protection, play action stuff. So we got to do a good job. And we can take a note from boys, the other boys, and really play hard as well. So we're really studying that film.
What have you seen in that film? Something you'd like to use, exploit?
I mean, boys do that, man. There's a reason they're ranked where they are. They really play hard. They've got good players. They do a good job. So, it's always good when we can see somebody else playing hard and doing things the right way. So we'll study that tape all week. It's a good teaching tool for our kids.
Has Melvin quieted down since Saturday night, since his interception?
No, to be honest with you, Melvin was a hot tackle. He was looking at the contain guy on that play. And Byron McKnight had dropped off in the coverage. And Melvin saw that back leak out there. So instinctively, he kind of, he knew where the guy was. He said, "Coach, I knew he was going to throw it to me." So, I mean, but Melvin is, he's quite an athlete.
Is that a play only a fifth-year senior can make because of that instinct?
Well, I mean, he's smart. He saw what was happening. He'd seen that play probably 100 times before. But he's, Melvin, that's a good football player.
What about Devin on the other side?
Devin, I mean, he did well. Had a real good pressure one time. He hit the quarterback, created a poor pass to the quarterback. Did some good things. Devin's one of those guys who's always where he's supposed to be. And the opportunity comes to make plays.
Going back to Melvin, have you ever had a guy who started defensive tackle and still got coverage like that?
I've had a couple over the years. But, no, I mean, Melvin's, he's an exceptional athlete.
You mentioned Jadavian. Also says you had Jared Duke got some minutes, really his first extensive action.
Yeah, that wasn't his top game last week.
And even Kelsey, but talk about this, like some good.
Kelsey has good reps for him to get. Again, being a freshman, any rep he gets is going. They're also important, like gold to him. Like I say, Jared, that wasn't his top game. He should get more snaps this week. Jared is not a pass rusher extraordinary. It's not his thing. He's a body type built like Scott Hood.
As far as just tackling technique and being physical, how big of a jump do you usually see from the first game to the second game?
You should see a tremendous amount of improvement. You know, an old coach's cliche is that's when you make the most improvement versus second game. We'll see. I mean, individually, collectively, I hope we make a tremendous amount of improvement from last week.
How tough has it been for these first 3 weeks to go from a pass-happy team to a more of a power team to what's the next week? You think about get a triple option type team.
Right now, like I said, our focus is on Georgia, and we've got to have our players ready for this game. I mean, all games are important, you know, and it's our first conference game. That's the next game. We've got to be ready. You know, we're going to get their best shot, and we know that. So we got to be ready to play.
At some point this summer, you sort of think about it and say, "Geez, we have three games, three different offenses."
And but when we do our work during the summer and in August, we do a lot of drill work that hopefully gets us ready for the first part of our season.